Alright, what's going on, guys? Red Dawn Prepper back for part 2, discussing how to prep your car. Now that video was my main video about the gas. There's several aspects to your car on how to prep. Part 1 was mainly your gas. I'm going to tell you, because I don't have visual aids with me, again, next video I'll do the visual tour around the vehicle. But other things that affect your gas mileage, and I'll tell you a short story after I'm done, because this is how it affects your gas. Because when I bought my vehicle, this truck, I did a little experiment with the gas and stuff and what affects the fuel the most. Just to begin with it, when I bought it, I was getting about 338 per tank, and now I'm sitting at 373. Okay, so as you can see, that's a substantial difference if you let your fuel system go to waste. All right, so we've gone over the basics about, how to prepare your gas, what to put in your gas, all that good stuff. Other things that's going to affect your gas mileage. All right, your ignition system, spark plugs, caps, distributor caps, rotors, wires, coil packs. Those are all in your older cars. Again, if you got a newer car, you probably got coil on plug as opposed to wires, spark plug wires. You really don't need to change those out too much. So again, like I said, I'm focusing on the older cars, and that's what you do. Spark plugs, your ignition system, stuff like that could get a little expensive. Me personally, I've bought decent stuff. Everything. I bought the spark plugs, 6 spark plugs, the wire set, the cap and rotor, and the coil pack for $50. Okay, and I didn't go cheap either necessarily. I didn't go top quality, but I didn't go cheap. So you want to check that stuff out. Now, when do you change that stuff out? Well, tough call. Again, your new cars, they usually have spark plugs that last about 90,000 miles. I would check yours at about 80, maybe even 70, depending on how you run your car. Because your ignition system affects your gas mileage, your spark ratio and all that good stuff. That affects it. That could slow down your car, so it affects your car performance, and it affects your gas mileage. All right? So, hang on. All right, guys. Sorry about that. So that's what you need to get. A cheap way to go and get spark plugs is Walmart. Walmart has some double plats, maybe platinums. They come 2 to a pack, and they're about $7. Maybe even cheaper. I can't remember. When I was at Walmart, as I recall, they were about $5.50. I think they've gone up to about $7 now. What are you gonna do? Like I said, parts will get your inflation. So you can buy 2 for $7. Not a bad deal considering they're platinums. Don't ever get your regular ass spark plug. All right. Never get a low quality spark plug. Those will go out real fast, and they're just not good, especially in your modern cars. Always go with a double plat or higher. Double plats are iridium. Okay. Your wires. Don't get Valucraft if you go to AutoZone or whatever. Get a decent wire. The Duralasts are pretty good. Excel is a high performance. MSD. Whatever you want to do. Your cap and rotor, distributor cap and rotor. You beat Borg Wagner. Okay. Don't get your cheap stuff. You can, but again, if you're looking for a long term, higher quality, pay a little bit. Your cap and rotor usually aren't that much. You buy your cap for about $15, 12 to $15, and you can buy your rotor usually for about $5. So your wires will probably run you about $20, and your plugs, depending on how many cylinders you have, should run you about $3 a piece for a single spark plug. Your coil pack, you can decide to change that if you want. If it's not broken, don't worry about it, really. Your coil packs are usually pretty long lasting. I change mine out just because I want mine to be in quality. and that ran me about $15 as I recall as well. So look, your ignition system is a big thing that you want to pay attention to as well. Okay. Again, you could probably improve your gas mileage depending on how bad it is, about 7 miles to the tank. That's what happened with me. Once I changed out all that stuff, I got 7 extra miles. Okay. Another thing is your fuel filter. Fuel filter, to me, that's big because that really affected me. I got 13 miles more to my tank when I changed out my fuel filter. Okay, now keep in mind, I bought this truck and it had about 80 grand on it, or 80K. So I was at 80,000 miles when I bought the truck. So I don't know what was done to it. I got the Carfax, not a lot was done to it. So when I changed out that fuel filter, it really needed to be changed out apparently, because I got, like I said, 13 extra miles to that when I changed out that fuel filter. Unfortunately, a lot of your cars now have your integrated fuel filter into the tank. So a lot of you, that's not realistic. However, if you've got an external fuel filter, it's a JIP, and it's real simple. Okay, it's an external fuel filter usually costs between $10 and $20, and like I said, it's real easy. I'll go over locations to all this stuff in detail in the next one, part 3. Because there's different locations that you guys would easily be able to get to. And a fuel filter generally is pretty easy to change. And again, if you haven't changed it, you got 30K, I don't care on what car, you need to change it about every 20, 30K. That's just good habits. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know me, the neighbor's a dick. He comes out, I don't want him to be all up on my business. But, anyway, sorry, I'm trying to think of what else. Not like I have a list or anything. But, so your spark plugs and stuff, and your fuel filter, sorry, I'm waiting for him to pass. You know. 1, 2, 3. All right, guys. All right, cool. Now we can get back. Air filter. Bam. Important. All right, air filter. Now, as you can see here, this is not a normal air filter. This is a Spectre. It's a performance air filter. That's generally better for you to get a performance filter. Okay. It does do a little bit better than your regular cotton filters. A little bit more pricey, especially if you go K&N. You can buy off-brand though, and they're just as good. And you can clean them. One of the things I recommend is that you get an extra air filter. Because you never know when again, if stuff hits the fan and all of a sudden you got all this stuff, you're like, oh crap. You know, you're not going to want to go out and buy these parts. So that's what I'm going to get into is your spare parts right now. What you want to have on your vehicle with you for your vehicle. Alright? So air filter is one of them because those go dirty within, 12, 15K. So, but if you buy, like I said, if you pay a little bit extra, I paid $14 for that. My normal filter cost is $8. So I basically paid for 2 filters, but I can clean it. I don't have to have another filter to take up space or anything like that. So, it's up to you guys. But I always have an extra filter. So if you go buy your filter next time, go buy an extra one. Don't have the freaking shop do it. I mean, if you're a housewife, you're probably not watching this video, but I mean, if you're just a regular person that doesn't know anything about cars, the air filter is one of the most simplest things to repair yourself, and it's the most cost-effective. You have a shop do it, they're going to charge you more than is necessary. And, I'm not just talking $1 or $2. A lot of shops still charge you quite a bit more. Okay? And I'll show you how to do an air filter next video. So your air filter is very simple and it's very cost effective, okay? So you're not going to break the bank buying an extra air filter next time. Okay. So what else do you want extra to have when shit hits the fan? Bulbs. Okay? Headlights and taillights. Alright? They're going to come in handy. What I recommend you do is you go out right now, or as soon as you can, buy a new set of headlights and buy a new set of tail lights, brake lights. All right, because your tail lights and headlights, they can go out at any time, and especially if you have the car for a while, who knows? They go out any time. But you don't want to be fiddling around in an shtf situation with a headlight out. A, you could get pulled over by whatever kind of crap law there is, and that's noticeable. And B, you need light.